Yo yo yo, what's up? So yeah, it's kind of an added bonus really, that in a way I guess that I haven't picked up a PS4. Just opened my can of Carlsberg Citrus this week, lager pop fucking combo, whatever you want to call it. Yes, it's kind of a bonus because it means that PlayStation 2 games don't look even worse, because if I had a PS4, obviously new generation, new graphics, it's going to make all the other consoles go down one in the pegging order, so to speak. So yes, a great game I used to play a lot, and I really kind of miss the series and this kind of genre of game in general really. And the game is Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. So yeah, I used to love playing Maximum Remix, I think was the version I had for the PS1. Just a great kind of, it was basically like Tony Hawk's but on BMXs, and you know, I'm into my bikes. Well, I don't ride them as much nowadays, but you know, I've got a couple of bikes, got a downhill bike, got a cross-country bike. So yeah, I used to be into this shit. It's got a cracking soundtrack. So what I've done is, if I hit record here, I've put in the master code, which means it unlocks everything. I used to originally have this game on the Xbox, you can't call it an Xbox One now. Fuck it, I'm going to call it an Xbox One. I had it on the Xbox One, or just the Xbox, whatever you want to call it, and played the shit out of it. Used to really enjoy it. So we're going to go for free ride, and fuck it, we'll just go for Mirra. You know, he was good enough to get his own game, so. And we've unlocked all the bikes, etc, etc. And right, so if you have a look at the levels here, Woodward Camp, Train Yards, I don't remember that one too well, so I remember Swamp Trails, that was awesome, nice kind of flowy trails. Commercial District, probably the one I remember the most. Galoon Walk Park, I don't really remember that. Kinda remember that one, that was a bit weird. Devil's Peak, don't remember that too much. Airport Garage, I can't remember that. It wasn't, kinda seemed like it would be a good level, but it wasn't that great. So there are your levels, and then you had a park editor as well. So lots of replay value. So I'll have a look at the Swamp Trails first, and I'll take another sip of the lager. If Carlsberg did lager, then maybe it wouldn't taste like this. I know what I mean. So this has got a great soundtrack on it. If you watch you know, a lot of extreme sports videos, you'll be familiar with the songs. They're all, well, most of them anyway, you know, tracks that are popular in the extreme sports fraternity, I guess you'd say. So far I'm sucking at this. I've tried twice to pull off a tail whip and failed. So I did say that this has nice flowy trails on it, this level. It does when you can actually flow properly and jump and clear. It does take a bit of getting used to this game, going back to you know, a game from what, let's face it, it's a couple of generations back now. But, you know, I had so much fun playing this game. If you've never played any of these types of games, you know, like Tony Hawk's and that, what planet are you on? But yeah, in this particular one, you went round the levels talking to other pro riders, similar to what they did in like the Tony Hawk's Underground games. So you went around the level and you spoke to the other pro riders, and they give you you know, tasks to complete, like beat this score, do this trick off here, collect this, collect that, all that sort of stuff. So that was the format for the game, and obviously you basically played through the game to you know, unlock, I'm sucking at this big time, to unlock levels, bikes, some hidden characters, there's the Amish boy and all that shit. So yeah, that was how you'd play the game, and yeah, you got decent selection of tracks, not really tracks, levels should I say. This one kind of takes a trail format with the dirt jumps and that, and you just be tricking off, doing big combos. You can combo the tricks up, do like manual to bunny hop to bar spin to, and then fail as I hit the water there. So yeah, for me this was going from the first Dave Mirra game, kind of epitomised what the next generation game should be like. You know, it was bigger, the graphics were obviously better, it was just a more expansive game in every way, and it was really a step up from the first game. Whilst the gameplay formula is pretty much the same, you know, the core game is essentially Dave Mirra, but you know, just the enhancements going up from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at another level, because that level's there's a couple of them on this game, and there was a couple of them on the first game. They're kind of like trails going downhill that end up going into bits at the bottom that you can sort of like ride as if it's a park. But we'll go to what I call a more traditional level here, which is kind of flat, and yeah, it's my favourite really because it's the one that kind of most resembles somewhere that you'd ride on a BMX. You know, 'cause where I live there's BMX parks and, well, skate parks, and there's dirt jumps here and there. But when I was younger there wasn't really much to ride. So yeah, this was kind of the nearest to going into the town centre and shredding. You look to shred, man. Yeah, and when I used to play out, I used to love manuals. If you don't know about manuals, they're kind of like it's really technical trick to actually do well. Simple to do briefly, but to actually manual for a sort of elongated time, it's pretty nice and difficult, and you know, the actual end product looks pretty sweet on a bike. Same with skateboarding really, manual's like one of the hardest things to do, especially when you manual into other tricks like do a bar spin easily, do a cross up, all that sort of stuff. I was actually surprised. I played this game for the first time in a long time the other day, and I was actually surprised at, you know, how kind of hard it is just to get back into it. I remember back in the day having massive tricks and combos and all sorts of shit. You know, you'd have a high score for the level, and you know, I'd literally just absolutely smash it. It's just a shame that they don't make these anymore. If you like the Dave Mirra games, you can check out Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, but that was nowhere near as good. That was kind of from the same people who did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I believe. It was at least published by the same company. But in that game, for example, on this game, you can do like a 360 bar spin. You know, you got two separate tricks. Essentially, you've got a trick modifier, but you couldn't do that in Matt Hoffman's, so it was just a step down from this game. It's kind of cool to play in its own right, because it's a different game and it's got different sort of handling characteristics, etc. So, you know, do the old wall ride, nearly forgot about them. Of course, you wouldn't have stairs like that in real life that you can actually just ride up, but they put them in there to make the game not as frustrating. I spent many hours, you know, just doing things like trying to manual these here, say, nearly did it, and failed. Yeah, another thing I just noticed then that you can't sort of forget about is there's kind of an attempt at putting a bit of life into the environment. As you can see, we've got traffic here. It's almost like Grand Theft BMX, but of course you did get BMXs in Grand Theft Auto eventually. Yeah, definitely a series that, you know, I'd like to see resurrected, even if, you know, not necessarily Dave Mirra, it'd probably be someone else nowadays. Whoever's hot on the streets on a BMX these days. But yeah, I'd really love to see another freestyle BMX game, it'd be awesome. We got Woodward, and there's bits on the levels like Woodward Camp. There was an indoor level on the first Dave Mirra game that was Woodward Camp, and it like one indoor section, and I believe there's a way of unlocking, go on it now and we'll have a chat about it, but there's kind of a way of unlocking the warehouse to actually go in. Well, I'm not sure what you have to do. It might be unlocked using this master code. You might be able to just go inside it now. But yeah, that was always pretty cool. Unlocking shit, hidden areas, something that they did in the Tony Hawk's games as well. So this section here as well would have been a separate level of Woodward Camp, and it just shows how much more expansive the game is, that you've got what was originally a single level here, and then you've got like these warehouses, and one of them, at least one of them, was a level in the first game. So essentially it's like two levels rolled into one, but I'd probably say that the area that you're given in this game is easily, say, 4 times the size of that of the first game. Obviously you got the memory limitations of the PS1 and all of that shiz. And do you have to go through a so you can't actually pivot the camera to look, but I'm not sure whether might be a window or something you can smash through. I know you can jump through these windows here, like that. Oh, here we go, this is the one was it? Or was that the one I've just been through? No, it's not the one. You do a fucking tranny out the window there, if you can get enough speed. So there's just so much to do in this game. Well, it's not really, but I'm just chatting shit. But yeah, there is there's a lot of area to trick off, and there's a lot of variety within the levels themselves. Never mind having 6 of them or whatever there was. You got your trick list, told you how to do all the tricks, and I think it highlights them up, you know, bright white there, kind of in bold, when you've actually done the tricks. That's what to aim for, doing all the tricks. Picked this game up pretty cheap now. You can get it for about £4. I'm not sure how the versions stack up. Did I just select the same level again? No. Yeah, I'm not sure how the versions stack up, but there's a GameCube port, there's an Xbox port, and obviously it's PS2. And then if you're a real Dave Mirra fan, then you can check out the first game, which was pretty cool as well. There's a couple of versions of that. There is the normal version, and there's the maximum remix, which has new levels, and there's also a Dreamcast version of the vanilla Dave Mirra game, which is horrible. The frame rate is pathetic on it. It just runs like absolute fucking trash. Select this one. I can't remember this level whatsoever. Probably this will be the last level I'll play, because I want to leave a little bit there for you to explore yourselves, of course, if you pick up the game. I vaguely remember it now. It's got like a runaway train on it or something, I think. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a roller coaster, this level. Graphics are solid. Sound, yeah, the actual sound effects are alright. Some kind of wildlife effects and all that sort of stuff going on. It's not amazing, but when you've got the music on, disabled the music, because everything gets flagged for fucking copyright on YouTube nowadays. Oops, Red Bull style canyon jump, and I've just missed it. Come up short. Yeah, everything's getting flagged nowadays, so I disabled the music. But I'll say, if you've watched any amount of extreme sports videos on YouTube or whatever, you know the sort of music to expect. So just expect that. Like how the control system works. Like basically, you got no footer and you got a no hander. And you do a no footer by holding down, the direction buttons, left down diagonal, and then a no hander is right down diagonal, and you have to hold down circle at the same time. But if you want to do a nothing, which is a combination of the two, then what you do is you do the D-pad command for a no footer and the D-pad command for a no hander, and then hold the circle button down. It does a nothing, which I think is kind of cool, because it's really relevant to there's a connection between the control system and the tricks that come out on the end. It's like if you do a double kind of D-pad gesture for a tail whip and then press square, it'll do a double tail whip. So yeah, that concludes my little video on Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. Definitely worth checking out if you like Tony Hawk games, or you like BMXs and bikes, or it just looks like a cool title that you'd have fun playing, because it's definitely a solid title. Goes for the double backflip flare, alright, and then a double tail whip to finish. Bussing tricks. Let's go buff some tricks in it. Cheeseburger. Alright.